welcome back to Weir Yard up here in the loft. It's really good to have you along and have your company. And I thought I'd share with you today some of the progress that's been ongoing. So despite all the projects that I'm involved in, I've been doing a lot of work. So one of the big areas, if not the biggest area that I've been working on, is this bit over here. So it's currently trains in the way, but what you can see is that it's a bit different from last time. We've got the card retaining wall going in, and that's all glued down, and I've actually ballasted up to it, done some terrain work as well. So I'm just going to move all of these along, and what you can see down there is got some degree of terrain going on, that the siding's ballasted right up to the buffer stops, and I need to build at least one more run of that wall, so I've got stuff for doing that. And then I need to build a bridge, and this is going to become a disused canal. So what I might actually do is cut out here, put in an archway, so some kind of a canal tunnel. So lots of thoughts of what I need to do, but certainly this area is getting smaller and smaller that I need to work on, and the amount of stuff that is finished is getting bigger and bigger. Now I'm going to try and see if I can film around here, because I'm actually quite pleased with that walling that I've put in there, and possibly a little bit more needing to finish off just in there. But as you can see, I've used one of the Metcalf ramp up kits. It's basically, I think it's the other half of what you see there. So essentially what I did was I built that bit and that bit minus that pillar, so I didn't bother with that, and that became the retaining wall just for in there. And it's actually really hard to film, and it's something that annoys me a little bit, that I've left these difficult to reach areas till last. But of course my skills have improved. So the very best modelling work is the stuff you don't really see quite so readily. So I'm going to have to watch out for that. So a little tip for you: start with modelling the inaccessible areas, even though they may actually be something you think, oh, that's a bit boring, I'm not really going to see that, because actually it gives you the practice to be much better in the other areas. Right, let's go around here, and I think all of this has changed quite dramatically. So you can see over there, the Bates Motel has turned up, finally all finished, into that corner, and been meaning to put it in there for a while. I've got some gravestones, things like that, to decorate around it. Needs wiring in. It does have a flashing lights effect, as we showed in the video where I described it being built. And it's a very expensive kit, but I quite like it. But I understand completely anybody who gripes a little bit about the cost of that, because it is expensive, even when you do manage to get it a little bit discounted. But we've got over here, we've got the terrain going in, ballasting. This building here is now in and glued down. I've got a few bits and pieces. They're not glued down at all. They're just sort of sat there waiting for their final positioning. And as I zoom out, we've got quite a bit more done here. Now I can't remember, because I've been so busy elsewhere, if I'd done the road or not. But what you can see is we've got the road surface here now. And I need to actually do something along here. So I want to get some fencing kits. I'm kind of planning on the ratio southern region style concrete fence panels. I do like that fence. I think it really does work actually in a lot of places. I've used it on a number of different layouts before now. I think 3 different layouts that I've built all include that type of fencing, and I really do like it. So the idea is to put some fencing along here, and then I'm going to have this for posing Oxford Rail diecast vehicles. But then over here, again, it goes back to what I said before. I'm not quite so happy now. Now that I've seen how good I can build, this is kind of starting to annoy me. I don't know whether I'm going to rip all that out and do the Metcalf card kits. They are very good kits. I can highly recommend them. But again, it's going to be quite hidden, but I'm going to use the Metcalf ramp kit to, well, the ramped wall to go in here, and still got to work out how it's going to get around there. But that's pretty much the plan for that. So a lot of work has gone on, starting to put in some of the plant life here. You can see got some bushes. These were a Gauge Master product, and actually I quite like them. It just shows really how long it's been since I've really gone looking and hunting through some of the products that are on the market. I'm really, really impressed with some of these. I do need to get some more trees in. I've got the kits for making some of these trees that I bought at Alexandra Palace quite some time ago, and I need to make a whole load more trees, and then hopefully I can really start to populate all this area. Now, the other project I've been working on, I'm really pleased with how my terrain making has come along, to the point where I actually look at what I've made here and I think I can do it so much better now. So I can see that's going to be a thorn in my side. But, we can redo some of this at a later date, I think. And, that's something to always bear in mind, is that model railways continuously evolve. And as you go along, there's always something that you can make better, that you can improve. They're never really truly finished. Piles of figures that I've got in there. You can see all the tombstones and stuff. They're waiting to go around the Bates Motel. I think they're zombies. And God knows who you guys are. You're just a bunch of people lying down in a wagon. But I must admit, some of these are a bit peculiar. They've been stripped off another layout. So this appears to be a sort of kinky Santa. Well, it's a woman dressed in, I don't think Santa ever wore that. So, I'm not really sure where she'll find a home. And then we've got people like a bit of a zombie going on there. I don't know, maybe we'll have, if I get, you can buy a film crew, maybe I'll have them filming Shaun of the Dead somewhere. That could be an idea. These seem a little bit more conventional, so sitting lady. I've really got a station. Now, a few of you have asked, let's just retrieve those figures, have actually asked why it is I have not bothered with a station. And the thing is, I got a station out of my system. I'm not really the kind of person who actually likes stations in model form. I find them a bit boring. They take up a lot of space and they're just a little bit boring. I much prefer the dirty, gritty freight yards. I just really like all that. And that's why Weir Yard was born. For as long as I can remember, well, at least going back into the late 1990s, I was fascinated every time I took the train up to Newcastle and past Weir Yard on the way. I just really wanted to build my representation of it. And that's really what this is. I didn't have the space up until now to do it. But now I do have the space. I kind of got a station out of my system when I built Trinity Road in the shed. Now I've recycled some of the buildings. So this is one of the ones that draws a lot of comment. It used to be Trinity Road Station Building, but I've added quite a lot of figures there in front of it. And it's not a school, but some kind of military establishment, I think, because we've got lots of RAF and Royal Navy personnel. And some wrens there, which means that it has to be about 1990, 1991, something like that. So it does fit in with the period. But other than that, I've tried to put a lot of the rolling stock away. Grew bored and weary of sidings being absolutely wedged full. I've still got a problem with a lot of rolling stock and locomotives, just nowhere really to put it. How did this happen? But I need to build the fiddle yard underneath here. and that will provide a lot of space. So you can see under there, I've got to remove that bracket there somehow, replace it with something different. And there's going to be another level underneath there, just full of siding. So I've still got quite a few salvage points from the out in the shed to make good use of, and that's the plan. So it's probably a bit of a short update. I've been away for pretty much an entire week doing another project, and don't ask me about it because being told to get lost sometimes offends, but you'll have to wait until the autumn for that to become public knowledge. But it does mean it's put a bit of a crimp on progress up here, but you know, still coming on strong. I've got some magazine articles to write for a couple of different magazines, and I'm also thinking about putting a shelf across from purlin to purlin. I'm going to work out putting a shelf across there, not necessarily for a model railway. I know I did talk about putting a second level up here, but certainly just a shelf that I can put probably coaching stock all across there, and just gives me somewhere to display things. I do think that that's very important. There's no point in having stuff that you never really see. I know that perhaps you could argue that about storage underneath, but at least it does have the potential to run out onto the layout. Now, what am I going to do next? I think the single biggest area left on this entire layout now is that little area there. So I need to think about how I'm going to do those bridges. I want to do it as a disused canal type thing. I've got some deluxe materials solid water, and I'm going to give that a go, but there's still a lot of bits and pieces that I need to get done in there. So talking with you guys isn't going to get it done. I hope you've enjoyed this quick update video showing you what I've been able to do despite being overwhelmed on other projects. And it just goes to show that you can always make a little bit of time in your day for railway modelling, or indeed any other hobby that you have. And I do get a lot of people saying to me about how, oh, you know, you're making great progress, and you know, I never get the time. I've spent years and I'm still thinking about building baseboards. I always find for any project, and this includes my writing as well, starting is the hardest part. Once you start, most projects kind of tend to feed themselves. You get into them, they suck you in, and you divine an awful lot of enjoyment from progressing them. But until you've actually started, it's like this procrastination becomes the scourge of any hobby, not to mention other projects, writing reports, exam revision, all those kinds of things, writing books. As long as you can just get started, that's all you need, and the project will feed itself. But it's been great to have your company. Really enjoyed having you along here. Don't forget to check out our other videos if you haven't already done so. And also, if you want to support the channel, feel free to head on over to our Patreon account. Take a look there. And also, we've got merchandise for sale. We've got some wonderful Jenny Monday Club mugs that you can pick yourself one up, pick your colour, and you too can join in the Jenny Club. But until next time, it's been really good to have you watching. Thanks for that, and you take really good care of yourself. Until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying bye for now. Today's video has been brought to you in part thanks to the generous donation of my fans on Patreon, and a huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Mark Anthony, Michael Churchwood, Bob Threeton, Alec Ralph, Anthony Hunt, William Wade, Wayne Johns, and Offshore Alan. If you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk. Thank you. Today's video has been brought to you by my books, Bringing Home the Stars, Twinkle Little Star, and also you can get the complete comic collections of All Over the House, Books 1, Books 2, and also the wacky zany Life of Knob T. Mouse. Thanks, and catch you later.